So go back to the property market then. What's the plans for you this year?
Well, the property market, as I said in one of my other videos, was that I explained how the property market works, and I explained what influences the property market.
Yep.
And what we're going to see is a huge change in sentiment, as in we're going to shift from the seller's market to the buyer's market. Now, that won't happen overnight.
Yeah. Interest rates got a lot to play in this.
Interest rates are the key component.
Yeah. It's amazing before you push on with this. Like, people go, the interest rates have went up. The interest rates like 5-6%. Like, that's a normal kind of percentage for interest rates. If you look back at the years go back, you know, like the 1-2% that we were getting was all great. You know, it's pushed up to a kind of normality interest rate percentage.
How many people do you think truly understand what interest rates are and what part they play in the property market?
Not many.
Like, give me a number, give me a percentage.
Got to be less than 50 anyway.
The key component part of interest rates is that it is the cost of money. So if you put that money into the bank, it's the percentage that the bank will earn having that money, and you'll see that in a savings account. And if you take a borrowing, it's the cost to borrow that.
Yeah.
So the lower the cost to borrow, the more people can borrow, because they have a salary or an income that they can use to pay the cost, and we know that is interest.
Yeah.
If you make that cost really small, then people can borrow more, and because the interest rate side of it. So if you have one side which is borrowing and one side which is saving, right? If you're not getting a high interest rate in savings because the interest rate's low, then it fuels speculation, because the money's cash is now trash. Having money in the bank is now worth nothing. So it looks for places. Capital follows hot money. Mm-hmm. So that means that people will take their capital and put it into places to generate more performance. So you've seen a lot of people drain their savings account and put it into speculate into stocks, bonds, other types of assets. Now that's called the risk curve, where they'll go further up the risk curve to get more performance, more yield, more cash flow. And if you combine cheap interest rates with a market that's being fueled and people that have no advantage holding on to their money, you've got a boom.
Yeah.
Right? But what comes with boom is a bust. And what you need to work out is, when does the boom end and when does the bust finish? Well, one of the ways that you can make that bust start is by raising the cost of what it is to borrow that money. And particularly if your boom part is being speculated on really, really, really cheap money.
Yeah.
What I mean by cheap money is the interest has been small, so the cost to borrow that money that's fueled the boom is tiny. If you crank the lever up to go, look, let's turn that up, then what happens is they can't afford the amount of money that they've borrowed, so they need to sell. And if they sell, up, down. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a very simplistic way of explaining it. And that, what I mean by that is the key important part of this is how dramatic that lever of turning the interest rates up or down has been. So you turn it down, it's fueled the speculation up. If you turn it up, it's going to cause the crash on the way back down. That's why when I seen the Martin Lewis clip and he had the chief economist, who economists have the worst track record at predicting anything. I interviewed the foremost economist in the world, who has called out all economists as being complete fools when it comes to forecasting. They could not forecast that they would hit water if they jumped out of a boat. They've got the worst track record out of anyone in the industry.
Anything they say.
So they are saying that the prices will change 1 to 2%. That's nonsense. I've got news for you. Let me tell you right now, there's going to be, when the time comes that these fixed rates come to an end on these low interest rate mortgages, people are going to be forced to sell.
Yeah.
And I've done 3 videos on it on the property course that show you what to look for and to show you what to do and what you should do. So what does that mean? And your question was, what's the year of property look like? Well, it's the time to get involved in the market, because there's going to be a lot of sellers. There's a time that there's opportunity to get better prices than you've ever done in recent times. But more specifically, in what we've honed in on is there is 90% of deals out there that you shouldn't look at the moment, right? And then there's about 5% of deals that it's worth a look, and then there's another 5% of deals that it does not matter what's going on. These are pin-on, linchpin deals, and if you can work out the strategy on how to do those 5% and know how to find them, you are the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
And you're literally changing your future by building a portfolio that will just sit head and shoulders above everything else. Yeah. And it can set not only yourself up, your family, because you're getting it dialed in so well.
You're already doing that at the moment.
We've been doing it. I mean, how long have I been saying that interest rates are going to go up? Yeah. So I've been reading the leading indicator for a long time. Yeah. And I'm like, we need to pivot now. So the more we pivot into that 5%, the bigger the shift is. So it's literally people are just starting to think, oh, I need to do something, and they're at that. They're so far away down that line, and they're going. What are we doing? Like, we've been doing this for years. This is the advantage of doing it. This is the advantage of learning to forecast, learning to understand the market, learning to pivot, learning to be adaptable.
Don't give too much away at the moment, because you're educating people here, and that's already the stuff that we're going to be doing in the community. In the
we'll keep.
Just scratch the surface.
We'll just leave it at tasters.